Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security, from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello everyone, my name is Pratibha. A very warm welcome back to all of you in Learning and Development webinar. I'll be your moderator today. So if at any point you have any question or if you want to know more regarding the GSDC, please feel free to use the chat box. So let's start with the today's session. I hope you're all ready for that. Just allow me a minute to share my screen. Meanwhile, please do let us know from where you guys are watching. So, on behalf of the Global Skill Development Council, I'm truly delighted to welcome you all into the GSDC Certified Learning, the Learning and Development Reset, Redefining Skills, Strategies, and Business Impact for the year ahead. Designing future ready skills that drive impact. And one of the things which make this webinar so interesting is the amazing expert panel we have lined up for you. So some of them have already delivered a very incredible and insightful sessions, and others are all set to bring in more powerful ideas. So for those who have joined with us for the very first time, let me give you a quick introduction who we are. Global Skill Development Council is a globally recognized certification body. We are accredited by ABICB. Till yet, we have a 250,000 professionals certified with us. We are associated with 500 plus subject matter experts who contribute to our program. We are partnered with 100 plus training providers, 1,000 plus multinational companies, and 50 plus universities worldwide. So these are the training partners who are associated with us from the Asia, Africa, Canada, Australia, Nigeria, Singapore, and many other countries. So a special thanks to all training partners for helping us improving our program. And a very special thank you to our media partner, White Press Hub, for covering all of our press releases and event releases. So before starting the session, I just wanted to make a quick announcement that we have just launched a very unique platform called GSDC AI Studio, Lifelong Learning Initiative, in which you will be getting 100 plus live monthly sessions with global expert, including 4 daily sessions, 45-minute live expert lead session for hands-on learning, sessions from global expert. You can learn directly from our AI leaders around the world, real-time practice. You can apply concept immediately and get your question answered. Certification ready. You will be getting the training aligned with industry standard for job ready skills. So do you want to know how you can get the benefit of GSDC AI Studio? Well, let me tell you. So there are 3 ways. First, you have a free 14-day access in which you will be getting the 80 plus live session per month and access to full GSDC Studio. Second, you have a GSDC lifelong membership. You will be upgrading to Pro in $109 and you will be getting the lifetime access of 80 plus live session per month and access to full GSDC Studio. Free GSDC membership, access to physical events and LinkedIn profile improver. Last but not the least, we have GSDC certification plus lifetime membership. So now participant, this offer is for a very limited time of period. Make sure you're taking the advantage of it because you're going to get the lifetime access of GSDC certification, all benefits of lifetime membership, personalized coaching, capstone projects plus AI tool, GSDC co-pilot competency assessment tool in $100 only. So what are you waiting for? Take the advantage of this offer. And currently, we are serving 100+ certification in our portfolio, which include the learning and development, HR, Gen AI, Agentic AI, emerging technologies, ISO lead auditor and implementer, project management and PMO, Agile DevOps and SRE, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and many more. But once you get certified with GSTC, you just don't walk away with the certification. You also become a part of our community, which comes with GSTC membership benefits, including the lifelong membership, certification upgrade, workshop boot camps, learning club access, also the full benefit of GSTC AI Studio, and many more. With that, it's time to welcome our today's speaker. But before welcoming it, I would like to inform you about something, guys, that today on the demand or on the request of our speaker, we have given you the access of video. Also, whenever you want to ask any question from our speaker, you can raise your hand and I will provide the access of mic and you can have a discussion on one-to-one with our today's speaker. So with that, it's time to welcome today's speaker. So if I give you a short introduction regarding the Dr. Ajit. So Dr. Ajit Kumarkar is global coach, author speaker with nearly 2 decades of experience across HR, learning and development and consulting. He is the dean at Management Studies at Regional College of Management. He's also a practice head, people and culture at the Mindmaster, Known for building neuropsychological design thinking and people centering strategies, he drives impactful learning and transformation initiative. He has worked with leading organizations like Tata Group, L&T, NTPC, Wipro, and Coca-Cola. Dr. Ajit is a globally recognized thoughtful leader, award-winning mentor, and a feature HR and learning and development influencer. But before handing over the virtual mic, just a quick reminder, if you have any question or if you wanna know regarding the GSDC, or if you want to ask anything from Dr. Ajit, please raise your hand. I'll be giving you the mic access and we can have a discussion. With that, it's time to welcome Dr. Ajit. Dr. Ajit, thank you so much for coming on our platform. We are very honored to have you as our speaker. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Pratibha. Thank you so much. And thank you, GSDC. Hope I'm loud and clear. So I would just request on few of you, if you can just come on a video because it's only, seeing myself. So it would be great if I can see few of you on video, on camera. And, that would make the session easier to connect and to have that bonding. So quickly, if you can, like have fastest finger fast, how Pratibha, we have given the access, like people can switch on their video.
So camera's video has been already given to the participant. They can on your
All right.
camera.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone. So for joining in, it's great. Few of you are already being connected. I could see, few chat room responses that yes, you know me. So that's superb and great. So before starting this session quickly, like a few queries and questions we just want to ask, like how many of you are into L&D? If you can quickly share, you are into training, coaching, facilitation and all that. If you can quickly share that in our chat room. Yeah. So if you are into training and development, if you're into learning, if you're into coaching, just a yes response there in a chat room would help me to understand. Yes or no would help me. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mansi. And also request few of you to be on a video would be great. Yes. All right. Thank you, Bikash. Thank you, Mai. So, all right. Great. Yes. Tanmay, thank you. So I could see few means, many of you are into training and development zone and all. Now, the next question which I want to ask all of you is how many of you get into, thank you, Tanmay, for being in the video. So how many of you do an ROI analysis, return on investment, or you try and understand the learning effectiveness, means how far the learning has been transferred in real time. So how many of you do that, means evaluation, assessment and all that? If you can quickly share a response there on chat room, yes or no response would help me, would be great. Okay. How many of you are into training only level 2? All right. So chiropractic level 2. Thank you, Mansi. So anybody else who would like to share? We are not profit, so no. All right. So even not profit, we can always do that because that is how we understand the effectiveness of training and development programs or learning programs or any kind of organizational change and development programs. All right. Great. So good responses till now. So let's get into the session about the few things we're going to discuss. So any point of time, thank you Vikas for sharing that. So thank you Mai. So any point of time, if you have a question, query, anything else that you want to ask, please do share. Do share that in a chat room, or maybe you can just raise your hand option and Pratibha would give you the access and you can just, ask your questions. The only thing is we have 1 hour. I would request all of you to keep it very precise and to the point. Hope my pace is fine. Yes, no response in the chat room would help me. Hope my pace is okay. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. So what are the few things we are going to discuss in today's session? So few things which we'll be discussing today's session would, on the screen, we'll be discussing about the core concept. So three things are very important when we're talking about learning development initiatives. One is called as ROI, ROTI, and ROE. So if someone of you would be kind enough to mention all these things in a chat room if it is possible. So I said ROTI, ROTI, I said ROE, and I said ROI. So three things are very important. So when you're talking about, ROI, it is all return on investment. Let us understand that for every training and development initiatives or programs, it's at times difficult to understand what is the return on investment. That's the reason we need to understand return, ROTI, return on time invested, or ROE is called as return on expectations. So these are the three things. And going gradually, we'll try and understand all these things. We'll also understand key metrics about evaluating training programs, ROI, Kirkpatrick and Phillips model, and how do we link training and development initiatives to business outcome. So we'll also discuss an important model and few, how do we build a learning culture and all that. So these are the few things which we are going to discuss. Any questions and queries or anything else that you want me to highlight, barring these things which are being mentioned there in a chat room, you can quickly share the chat room you can share, so that it would help me. I mean, maybe in course of time, I'll try and focus on all those areas. Anything barring whatever is being mentioned on my screen right now. Okay. All right. So some research report which I took, and it says that companies invest in learning measurement outperform, by 17%. So if you're not doing measuring, the learning and development effectiveness, it means we're not doing justice. That is what, company research that says that it's very important that whatever we do, we should also try and analyze and understand that what is that investment we have made and what is the return we are getting. That's very important. And most of the companies, they generally do not do this. Now, ROI, we will be discussing return on expectations. Let us understand. It's very easy to measure the return on investment when we're talking about, say, functional training program. Say, for an example, I have a company, I have an organization which makes bottles, right? And then, like before training, I could understand the bottles were being made, but out of 10 bottles, there were 2 bottles which were being manufactured and were being defective. And then we did some kind of training which relates to, bottle making, shaping bottle, manufacturing and all that. And after that, we could see that when we are producing 10 bottles, only 1 bottle is coming defective. It means we are able to measure, the effectiveness or of the training and development in terms of investment when it is functional training program. But the biggest problem comes when it's soft skills, behavioral skills, because it's very difficult. So tomorrow I give a training program on attitude. How do I measure that how far this attitude training program has been successful? So one of the concepts which I introduced in previous company is called as RLD is called as reflective learning diary. Anybody is aware about this? Yes, no response there, and chat room would help me. Reflective learning diary, any idea? No? All right. Okay. All right. Great. So people say no idea. Okay. And for anybody else possible for being on video, please be on a video. So yes, people says no. People say no responses. Okay. Satyanaran says no. All right. So fine. Let me tell you, reflective learning diary, just like, is a critical incident diary, right? Which talks about learning self-evaluation and learning review. So it's a structured, systematic diary. One page talks about learning review and one page talks about learning evaluation. If time permits, I'll take you through this, the entire format and structure of it. All right. So going forward, just allow me a moment. Okay. So when you're talking about ROE, return on expectations, now suppose if I'm conducting a program, say on change management, I'm doing a program, say on industrial psychology, or if I'm doing a program on emotional re-engineering, these are all new concepts, right? Or if I'm doing a program on design thinking, say for an example. So it's very important that I need to decide that where I need to have ROE, where I need to have ROTI, and where I need to have ROI. So when you're talking about the concept of this, like ROE, it basically talks about gather. The first important thing is, so gathering, like information, data, understanding what is the expectations of the business. That's the first thing. Then we have to decide that what are the few things what are the key important aspects based on which we will design the program. Next, we'll have to do an alignment, then design and deliver, and then capture that where and how far the program has been, successful. How do we do? So once we decide 2 things, one is what is the objective and what is the outcome. Now, suppose tomorrow I do a program on, say, communication for productivity. So when I'm doing a program on communication for productivity, what is my objective and what is my end results? If I know that, then it becomes easy for me to measure the ROE. Okay. Please do ask me questions if you have anything else in your mind. Now, this is very important. Need analysis maturity model. I hope people might be knowing about this. This is called as how do we do a maturity analysis of the needs. So the model says the first thing is understanding the need, right? So any training program, any idea like how do we, on what basis we should define the need of a training program? Anybody can respond. Maybe, you can unmute yourself, can share that in a chat room. How to understand what basis or what levels of needs to be understood for designing a training program? Any audience responses? Okay, TNI. Anything else? Vikas says TNI. Anything else barring that? Let us make it interactive. Dharma, if you want to speak, you can. Maybe you can quickly share that. Yeah, please go ahead.
May I?
Please go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
what I believe in training need and identifications or analysis is it is more about identifying the gap between the desired performance and actual performance, and more of the input that we will get from different department heads because they know the pulse of that particular department. And if there would be any future vision of the organization, let's say, for example, the organizations would like to start a new project, new assignment. For that, we
Okay,
will get some input and the performance management system report about different individuals or employees. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So thank you, Tanmay, for sharing that, and thank you for being on a video. All right. So now let me tell you, like he's right, but whenever we do a training need evaluation, understanding, analysis, so it has to be done on a basis of three important levels. One is the individual, the other is a task and the function, and then an organizational level. Three very important. Now being suppose I work as a mechanical engineer, right? So as an individual, what are the skills and capacities, what are the skills and competencies, what are the skills and abilities which are required for me as an individual? So to do my task analysis, to do my task, what are the few programs, task related programs which are required, and what is that organization need in long term, long run, and what are the few programs I should be given best on organizational perspective. So whenever we try and understand need, it has to be understood at three levels. Most of the organization, they only understand needs at an individual level. That's the biggest problem, right? Let me share more on this. Please allow me to share my screen. Yeah. So when we are trying to understand, gap, so, or maybe, need, so there are different ways of understanding the needs. It's training need identification, which Tanmay was talking about, observations of HODs and feedback, PMS data, conducting assessment centers, discovery assessments, 360-degree feedback, skill metrics, leadership assessment, and competency mapping. So these are the ways about how we can understand gaps. And it depends upon organization that which methodology you want to use. Like for an instance, if it is a leadership training and all that, we can always do a discovery assessment. We can always do a leadership assessment. We can always do a competency mapping and all that. So it all depends on what program you want to design, what level, what maturity we want to bring in. So based on that objective and outcome, we need to decide that what kind of methodology we need to apply. Right. And yeah. Now, when coming to measuring training effectiveness, what's most important is I'm sharing something with all of you. You can take a screenshot very well of it. There's a simple methodology of understanding, determining the actual training need of any company and organization on my screen. So if you see, absolutely untrue is one, absolutely, on a scale of five. So there are a few questions which the HR head, the training manager, the training, like personnel, they need to answer this, because this would help in understanding that what is the training need of an organization and where an organization stands, right? Say, for an example, links needs to business solution. So the questions are, we develop and implement training that links needs to business solution. If you feel that yes, absolutely true, you can give a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 being low, 5 being high. Right. And once this evaluation is done, it's a very short evaluation, you can do it yourself. And once this is being done, now what is the assessment? Which individual areas do you need to address? The scores, if you could see. If the scores are 8 to 15, so most of the training programs, they're focused, they're activity based, just tick mark 1, 2, 3. So we wanted to do it, just mandate. We want to just do 10 programs in a year, just tick, 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 and over. It doesn't relate to learning and training transfer. 16 to 20, moderate shift in certain areas. 24 to 31, significant progress to result best orientation. And 30 to 40, if that score is there, fully integrated results best system. Now, what does this talk about? Let me share more on this. So activity based, if your trainings are activity based, what does it speak? If it is result based, what does it speak? So if training programs are more activity oriented, no established business need, little relation to performance, no little focus on measuring the impact and value. Where if it is result based, it is more case based, it is more performance oriented, it is more system integrated. So this evaluation, basic evaluation would help, and you need to be very honest while responding. So that would help in terms of understanding where it stands and whether training is actually being taken seriously in any organization. Any questions till now? Hope everything is going good and you're able to follow through. If you have any queries and questions, please do share. Okay. All right. So what is one of the biggest challenge in training? What do you think? In learning and development initiatives, what do you think is one of the most important challenge? If you'd like to speak, you can. You may share that in the chat room as well. One of the biggest challenge in training, learning, development initiatives.
Rajit?
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I see one of the major challenges when in the trainings we analyze the organizational need, or the department need, or the individual need. Sometimes, as per your statements, we conduct trainings. The feedback will really good. The participants enjoy. The training was so good. The tools and the application which we used was so good. I mean, as per the feedback, I'm telling. But the managers will ask, what the impact that is being created? I understand your analysis is good and your training is good. Your participants' feedback are extraordinary, but where the result, I mean, the tangible impact that has been created, that was one of the major challenges I could tell you.
Super. What you said, I would completely agree on that. The biggest problem is, like training happened, all fun activities, people enjoyed, had fun, excellent feedback, and then everything disappears. The reason being so, because we do not do learning journey or learning path programs. These are just one-time standalone programs. We wanted a program, just tick mark, and then it's over. Where is the follow through? Where is the IDP? Are we doing an IDP, individual development plan? And even most of the organizations, they do even IDP, but there is again no follow through. That's one of the biggest problem. And second problem, I'll say, somebody else rightly mentioned there in a chart room, is learning transfer. I'll say very important is not learning, it's forgetting. I don't know how many of you know about forgetting curve. Learning curve, you all know. We also need to understand that how soon people tend to forget. A recent research says that people tend to forget around 50% of the information immediately after the session is over. And in 7 days of time, 90%. So what is that we are doing? So let us understand, it has to be complete, like today, I don't do standalone programs, honestly saying. If I do, I always try and do journey programs, because journey programs helps to understand the ROE, ROTI, and ROI. That's what is important. Right. And I could see, like many good responses there in the chat room. Thank you so much, like being so responsive there in the chat room. All right, we'll go ahead because the time is short. So I'll show you a few challenges, barring what we discussed. One or two challenges which I feel are important. Yep. So one of the biggest challenges is strong program alignment to the business. That's very important, right? So training program moves its own direction, and business goals and outcomes, they are into their own direction. So a strong alignment, which is important, and important where? Sorry, important where? So three levels, which I was talking about. One is at an organizational level, second is maybe at an operational level, task level, and third, which I was talking about at an individual level. First thing we need to understand that where the training program, the objectives are being aligned. This is one. And next, two important things. One is stakeholder buy-in. That's most important. Like I was speaking to one of the HODs in one of the training programs, and he said, "So, what is that? Means, how is this training fruitful? We do not see much results out of it." I asked a simple question: Is are you involved into this training and learning initiatives and interventions? The day, it's just not, the facilitator or maybe the trainer's task just to deliver the program. No, it has to be into the KRA of the stakeholders, key result area. It has to be integrated into PMS. Then we bring in a positive reinforcement in making training successful. So one of the important, area where we need to focus is mapping stakeholders. And second, very important, so when you're talking about, stakeholders, it's all about program sponsor, the business managers and participants. Everybody needs to have a buy-in in the program to make it successful. Second, chain of impact. So chain of impact is basically how are we measuring, how are we understanding the value of the entire journey of the program. And this is we all know. So, Likert 5 scale, you can say reaction, learning, application, impact, and ROI. So many of you said that you do up to L2. Recently, I'm working with an organization where we have implemented up to L4. And I'll share a few things with all of you here. Right. So this is one way. These are methodologies of, measuring training effectiveness and evaluation, understanding the audience, and then maybe, like understanding whether their behavior has changed, what condition you are bringing in the training, and what degree of change you are expecting. Right. So this is simple method called as ABCD method. All right. So if you do not have the confidence of line managers, no amount of analysis will help us. That's very important. This is what is a McKinsey report says. So aligning needs to business. How do we do? A simple model, if you could see on my screen. Sorry, the model says, the first very important thing is you need to understand preference needs. How should the solution be structured for the participant's satisfaction? So it's all about, am I able? So generally I talk about a methodology called as CED. I'll just write down there in a chart room. CED is connect, context, content, engagement, and delivery. I repeat, connect. How do you establish that connect, that trust with the participants? What is the context? What is the content? 3C. What is the engagement you are bringing in your program? And how do you deliver? What is that you deliver? What, how, and all that. So that is what I generally use a methodology called as CED. Even I use a methodology called as fun task. I'll just note down trick. So generally we say fantastic. So it is all about fun. It is all about task, and it is all about trick. Sorry. So what is the fun element you bring in a training program? What is the task you give people for involvement, right? Because people fall into different category. People fall into VAKD. So people could be visual, people could be, auditory, people could be kinesthetic, people could be digital auditory. So I can have different kinds of audiences. So how do I, create that engagement for different segments of people who are there into my audiences? And I may not be knowing them as well. Right. So what is that fun element I bring in? What is the task I'm giving? And what is the trick they're going to learn out of this entire journey program and all? So these are few, simple but powerful techniques and tools which I generally use. Okay. So preference needs, how should the solutions be structured for participant satisfaction? Second is learning needs. What skills and knowledge are they going to learn? Performance needs, what would this training help them to change and help business, right? Business needs, how is it directly related to the business? And payoff needs, is it really going to solve the problem? If we really can align, before we understand the needs, and if the needs can be really aligned based on these 5 important, aspects, I think each training would become successful. Okay. So is it good to move ahead? Any questions and queries? If you have, please ask me. Any queries and questions? Okay. Good to go. All right. Okay. Now this we know. The models, Kirkpatrick and Phillips ROI model, very basic models which are being used to measure ROI, return on investment, and all that, and quite popular models as well, right? Now, I'm not getting into these two models because most of you might be knowing. What I'm sharing is my model. This is my model, which we have implemented in an organization right now. So this is an indicative integrated evaluation criteria approach, right? Which talks about curve metric, which talks about 360-degree feedback, PMS evaluation, and assessment development center. Right. So when we're talking about a holistic, evaluation, it has to include elements, overall evaluation and development. So that can integrate the elements of these, four important aspects. So then it becomes holistic. So post-training evaluation, post-training on Kirkpatrick level 1. So the five levels I'm talking about, from reaction to results. And what else we can do? We can always do post workshop assessment and pre-post and understand what is the dispersion. So standard time says 30, 60, and 90 days. Could be 45, 60 and 90 days. So that should be, so in 45 days we should do some kind of reinforcement evaluation, again maybe in 90 days or maybe in 60 days of time. It all depends on the appetite of the organization. And level 3 and 4 integrated with 360-degree feedback. So we also need to include 360-degree feedback and assessment development center. I hope most of you might be knowing ACDC. ACDC. I've just mentioned there in a chat room. So ACDC, so assessment development, assessment center and development center. That's what we generally say, ACDC. And what else we can do? We can also, when you're talking about 360-degree feedback and all, we can do experimental groups. HiPods, we say high potential, high performance. We generally say HPHP, 9-box grid metrics and all that. That can also be done as well. And leadership observation. What else we can do? Follow-up session after 3 to 6 months, individual development plan, and integrated with PMS and competency evaluation through assessment centers. So these are, like barring whatever we are doing, barring Phillips and Kirkpatrick model. So these are few things which can be very well integrated and utilized for learning evaluation, for learning effectiveness measurement, or maybe to measure the ROI. And, competency-based scoring can also be done. So competency assessment. So now, any specific questions if you have in mind? I'll just stop sharing my screen for a moment. And if you have any questions, queries, you can share in the chat room, or you can unmute yourself again and share. And Pratibha, if you could help me, how much time I have?
We have a time right now, Ajay.
Okay, all right, great. So any questions and queries? Meanwhile, maybe I'll take some interim questions and then again we'll move ahead. Okay. All right, just give me a moment. Let me share my screen. Can you share any used case? Sure, I'll try and share. Thank you, Bansi, for asking. Let me share a few practical approaches, right? Reaction, learning, behavior, performance impact. I'm just talking about 4 levels right now. So level 1, reaction. So what is evaluation? What is a learner's reaction when you're talking about Kirkpatrick model and all that? Reaction to the program, did they like it? Are they happy? Are they satisfied? How did the facilitator, take the entire session? So the guidelines, these are the basic guidelines based on which we can do level 1 evaluation, which most of the organization, they don't do. I'm not going into details because time is short. And this is sample format, reaction format. How do you, capture the reaction level 1 evaluation? This is simple format, just 4 or 5 questions. Okay. So see, this is a use case where I have taken an overall snapshot of the reaction for a particular program. Very well structured dashboard. If you could see, excellent, good, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. Top 3 indicators, which are really good. Bottom 2 indicators, which needs improvement. Total feedback, 30 received. And see the evaluation parameters criteria. appropriateness, duration of the program, session involvement, quality, everything else, starting from the ambience to the training program, everything, the holistic feedback, reaction, the first level. Level 2, learning. So understanding how much the participant have learned, what skills have improvised, and how do we do that? So through a survey, through some assessments, applications. So how frequently they're able to use that knowledge on the job, learning transfer. So a simple, structure, the guidelines, and a format. Example of a survey format to understand what behavioral changes has happened after a person has attended a certain training program. And performance results, the last very important is, so by attending that program where the productivity, quality, cost control, customer satisfaction has really improvised, right? That would help us in understanding whether the return on investment has really been successful. And how do we do that? How do we do that? Performance results. So these are ways of doing it. Surveys, tests, questionnaire, interview, focused group, observations, performance records, and RLD, reflective learning diary. These are few ways and tools how we can do it. So evaluation approach could be reaction, learning, transfer. So what is how's the approach should be? So what is that we are going to do? Reaction, happiness with learning interventions, ROI, interventions benefited in relation to cost. So one side is the element, and how's the approach gonna help us? So this would, if we can really do this, then this is gonna be really fruitful for any kind of investment that we do in learning and development initiatives. So that's all from my side. So you can scan this QR code, you can connect with me. So if you have any questions and queries, we can take it very well right now. I could see a few questions there in a chat room as well. In the job rotation, any sample RLD? Yes, that is there. In job rotation, how the performance evaluation will be affected? Okay. How do we design measurement into program upfront instead treating it as post-training activity? Okay. Yes. Let me take any sample RLD. Yes, I'll be happy to share that. Second question is, in the job rotation, how the performance evaluation will be affected? Satyanarayan, it's very important to understand that what is the job rotation we're gonna do, and how's the KRA is being set for that individual, because based on that KRA and all that. See, for an example, today I'm into learning and development, and tomorrow maybe I'll be into recruitment, hiring. So then it's very important to define my KRA, my job role, and all that. Based on that only, you will be delivering few programs, because if it is not properly set, any training program would become futile. So and then maybe measuring the effectiveness will come in a picture. How do we design measurement into the program upfront instead treating it as, so because if you could really help me, if you can just unmute yourself and share what is that you want to ask, would be of great help to me.
Okay, so thanks, Ajit. So what I mean to ask here is most of the time we do post assessments, which starts after the training ends. So my question is, when we go to business or the stakeholders, we generally ask them upfront, or they ask us how do you are going to do this program, and it is going to tackle the issue through a program. So before upfront, what I mean to say that, is there any measurements or is there any artifacts which we can present to the board and say that on this
See,
basis
because
we are
now
going
let
to
me,
buy out this program, and
I
here
understood.
is the end result will
I got your
happen.
question. Let me ask you a simple question is, let me ask all of you, how would you decide that this training program is needed for my organization? How would you do that? A simple question. How do I decide that XYG program is required for these people? How do I decide it? What would be the methodology? What is that you're gonna do?
See, there are cases where some programs are really upfront and clear, where the stakeholders have clearly told this is what the training is required, and based on that, we do it. In some cases, like, we take an requirement gathering by asking some sample questions, wherein they fill those questions, and we are saying that, okay, this is the gap, or this is the batch is looking for, at what level of Java or Python or Angular, this is where they come from, or
Okay.
any leadership programs. And then we design the curriculum with the internal experts along with the external, or if we have any experts. So that's how we do it. And these programs are
Okay.
closely aligned. But there are
Okay.
cases, there are some ambiguity is also there, because where the management is also not clear.
Okay. Because quickly, like I've shared something there in a chat room. If you could see all of you. So what I've shared there in a chat room, you see any learning and development initiatives has to be aligned. How? For an example, one, pull the data from. So I generally used an approach called as integrated training need analysis. Right. And how do I do that? Is, like I see the PMS, performance management, and from there I grab the inputs. I also do an HOD, one-to-one interaction to understand HODs. A TNI, training need assessment analysis, whatever you say. And then I also would see that what is trending in industry. What is that change we need as an organization, internally, externally? So best on that, then I'll go and recommend to the like senior management team or the leadership team that these are the programs. So mostly, most of the training programs, either it is being best on HOD's feedback or maybe PMS data. And I would suggest to have an integrated approach of doing a training calendarization or training calendar. That would help in the first go. That would help in the first go. Right. And second thing is very important is, like outcome. It's not training objective. It's what is that outcome that training can bring in. Third, it has to be a journey. I'll just cite an example. We conducted an OBT. OBT, I think most of you know OBT, OBL. OBT is outbound training program, outbound learning program, whatever you say. Uh, Now, when the new CHRO joined the organization, he said, like, what is the benefit of this program? Why should we spend lakhs of rupees on outbound training program? We'll send people outside. How it is gonna give the benefit? We shared a dashboard and report with the CHRO. And how did we do? So let me share an used case, Mansi. You were asking just a used case of an OBT. So how was that OBT decided? First, how was the 2 days residential program, training program was decided? The 2 days residential program was decided based on 5 important aspects. Say agility, risk taking, coming out of comfort zone, team cohesiveness, and one more, I'm forgetting, change management or change acceptability. Now, where did these elements come from? Now, the organization is into massive change management, digital transformation, massive projects, expansion, and all that. Based on that, there were lots of management programs, brainstorming happened, and where the management took a call that these are the priorities for this year. These are the aspects, attributes, competencies we would like to see. Now, the OBT outbound training program for mid to senior level, was being designed based on these 5 important aspects. Training was over. Then and there, on the day of training, on the last date of training, everybody started preparing their IDP. After 30 days, we did an IDP review with the participants. After 60 days, the IDPs were being reviewed by the HODs. After 90 days, again, a feedback was taken. Based on those 5 important elements, feedback was being taken from the HODs. Feedbacks were collated and being presented to all the participants. This is the entire journey. And this was the report which was being shared by the CHRO, and the OBT program is still continuing. I hope I could answer you, Vikas. So any other question, I would be happy to answer. You can unmute yourself as well and can speak. I would love to hear a few of you. Okay. Thanks, Vikas. Any other questions, queries? You are free to share, or I would pass it to Pratibha.
Thank you so much, Ajit, for the impactful and insightful session. I'm sure our participants have learned a lot. So the participant floor is officially open for question answer. If you have any question, please feel free to ask from the Ajit. Meanwhile, Ajit, we do have few questions from the participant of LinkedIn and YouTube. Just allow me a minute to read out those questions for you.
Sure.
So, participant, if you have any question, you are feel free to ask till now. Please do let us know how you felt about the session, and do you want to have any guidance from the Dr. Ajit? So just allow me a minute. I'm pulling up the question from Thinkin and YouTube.
Yeah, you can do that very well.
So the first question we have, how can learning and development teams move beyond completion rate and feedback scores to measure real performance and behavioral changes?
Pratibha, if you can come again, please.
Yeah, so the first question we have, how can learning and development teams move beyond completion rates and feedback scores to measure real performance and behavioral changes?
So the day, like we feel that it's just not training mandates that, like maybe this year you just have to complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 programs. So if that mandate is not there, that yes, it's not completion, it's just delivery and learning transfer. And then very important that whether we are planning a journey program or these are standalone programs, just I have to do a program and I'm doing it and it's over. Or it's important that the programs are being conducted in a journey and the learning transfer evaluation are placed properly in terms of whether it is an IDP review, whether there is a follow-up, whether there is one-to-one, whatever is required, one-to-one review and all that, and what is that we are doing in terms of understanding the real-time learning transfer has happened. So whether that system is in place or not, that's most important.
Thank you so much for amazing and insightful answer, Dr. Ajit. So the next question we have, what role do data analytics and AI play in accurately quantifying the ROI of learning initiative today?
So if you have to talk, like we are into an era of AI, means everybody is either on ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini and all that. So we have been using it. The only thing is, I would suggest accuracy and all that would depend that how means it's just not use, it is ethical use of AI. So how ethically we are able to use, how honestly we are able to, like work with AI and present the real time dashboard. That's very important. So today, LMX, LMS, LXP platforms are it's widely available and all that, and people have been relying on it. But again, like human intervention and interference is always required.
Thank you so much for the great answer, Dr. Ajit. So the next question we have, how can organizations demonstrate learning and development ROI to senior leadership in a way that aligns with strategic business priorities?
So again, like I always means say that it's very important that just not doing training programs. So the very important thing which I have shared during my presentation is understanding the business case, business need. That's very important. So if our programs are just not being planned for the sake of training and learning initiatives, if they're being aligned with the outcome and objectives of a department or organizational goal, that would be more fruitful. And then that has to be a very structured exercise. Just not doing, like a simple training calendar, annual training calendar and driving programs will not help.
Thank you so much for the amazing answer. So, what are the next question we have? What are the common mistakes companies make while measuring learning and development ROI, and how can they be avoided, especially in a startup environment?
Honestly saying, I hardly see startups, getting into learning and development initiatives in a very structured way, to be very honest, because understand funding is always, a challenge for them. And then, like hiring someone or taking someone and then again, investing on it. So I understand. But again, when you're talking about a startup journey growth and all that, the very important thing is to understand that what is the real time training is required. What is the business need again? Second thing is, like, is it really going to be fruitful? Just not doing programs. Now, when you're doing training programs, few could be, theme based, which are actually needed for the organization. Few could be, building a culture, building a team and all that. So we'll have to take a call very judiciously that what are the few programs we want to do. And then what is the timeline we have? What is the training evaluation we bring in a picture? And is it really going to help us in the long-term journey? So these are, few key elements which have to be taken into consideration while planning any programs and when it is a startup.
Thank you so much for the great and insightful answer, Dr. Ajit. So, participant, unfortunately, will not be able to take more question because we are running out of the time. But I have shared Dr. Ajit's LinkedIn ID into the chat so that you don't miss out. Please connect with him if you need any query, any guidance. I'm sure Dr. Ajit would be happy to help you out. He has also shared his official number, so you may can connect on WhatsApp as well. He can connect with you as per his availability. Right, Dr. Ajit?
Okay.
So, before moving forward, would you like to give any final statement, please?
So thank you so much, GSDC. This is the second program I'm doing for you people and all that. It's always been a pleasure, connecting to you and the team and doing something for our cause. Thank you so much. And looking forward to such more programs and connecting with the audiences. And thank you, audiences, for being here at 9 p.m. IST. That's what we started with as per Indian time. Thank you, everyone.
So thank you so much, Ajit. And we always like to have you in our session. Looking forward to have you in the future session as well. And today's session was a roller coaster learning journey for us. So I'm sure our participants have enjoyed a lot. So, participant, I'll not be taking much of your time, and Dr. Ajit, I'll not be taking much of your time. Let me just quickly wrap up the session. So, participant, if you are ready to get certified into learning and development, now certifications are available onto our website. We are also giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants, which will be 20% off. So, if you want to get certified, check out our website, opt for the certificate, use the coupon code link which I have sent into the chat box, get 20% off and get certified. So before wrapping up, I just wanted to make a few announcements. One of them is the utility tool. So since I started introducing utility tool, I have already started getting the positive response from the participants who are on their current job hunting journey, and these tools help them a lot. So I would strongly recommend you to using this tool if you're on your job hunting journey, because you can log in into this tool by using your LinkedIn ID and password, and it will re-improvise your profile. It will give you recommendation according to the job designation you are targeting and the industry you are targeting, and it will make your resume stand out in front of the HRs and recruiters. We are also giving a complimentary coupon code to all of our participants, which will give you 100% off for using this tool. So if you're on your job hunting journey, take the help of utility tool and make your job hunting journey easier. And all the best to all the job hunter participants who are out there. And as today we had an impactful and insightful session with Dr. Ajit, tomorrow we are going to have one more insightful session with Ashwini A. Raman. She is a learning and development, global education, facilitation, tech for Indian alumna. And she is going to lead the session on designing effective learning delivery strategies for the modern workforce, ensuring engagement, retention, and impact. The session is going to be held tomorrow, 29 January at 9:30 a.m. Central, 11:30 p.m. Singapore, 9 p.m. Indian, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So I'm hoping to see you all tomorrow as well. And if you are an AI enthusiastic people, so this webinar is for you. In Must Know AI Strategies, we are going to learn from the automation to autonomous intelligence in business. This is going to be conducted from 26 to 38 January at 7:30 a.m. Central, 9:30 p.m. Singapore, 7 p.m. Indian, and 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And if you are an ISO enthusiastic people, so we have added a lot of new modules and trendy topics for you in ISO Leadership Reset, building a resilient, secure, and accountable enterprise. So this is going to be conducted at 26 to 30th January at 8:30 a.m. Central, then 10:30 p.m. Singapore, 8 p.m. Indian, and 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So with that, it's time to celebrate our referral champions. We have Bhanu Durgesh, EBI, and Avinash Kumar. Special thanks to all three of you for helping us amplify our initiative and reach it to the wider global audience. So if you want to be one of our speaker, you can reach out to us at pratibha@gsdccouncil.org and preetham@gsdccouncil.org. So if you would like to have a learning capsules, webinar, and podcast, please do connect with us. And these are the platform where you guys can connect with us, our LinkedIn ID, our WhatsApp, our social media platform, as well as if you need any feedbacks and suggestions, if you have, we would love to know your session key takeaways and learning outcomes. So do share your feedback and suggestions and reviews.io. I'm sharing all of the links into the chat box so that you don't miss out. Please do connect with us on of the platform for staying updated regarding our upcoming events in trend, and share your session key takeaways and learning outcomes on reviews.io. So with that, it's time to come to an end. Thank you so much once again, Dr. Ajit, for coming on our platform. We enjoyed your session today. Looking forward to have you in the future as well. Thank you so much to all of the participants for joining into our learning journey. We are very honored to have you guys over here, and looking forward to having in one more impactful session tomorrow. We are excited to have you with us. See you tomorrow at another impactful Global Skill Development Council session. Till then, keep learning, keep energizing. Have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are.